Thanks, Ruth. Last week, Governor Gina Raimondo, sitting at the head of the Commerce Corporation's board, voted with the majority to authorize nearly $3.6 million in Rebuild Rhode Island tax credits to West Coast developer Lance Robbins. The move was in support of a proposed $38 million redevelopment project at the abandoned Hope Webbing Company mill on Main Street in Pawtucket. The plan is to create 150 loft-type apartments with associated facilities. For a few minutes, it all sounded like a good plan. Then, Kate Nagel of Go Local Prov got on the phone to Washington for a chat with Lauren Saunders, Associate Director of the National Consumer Law Center. Saunders explained that Mr. Robbins was working on the East Coast these days after having been run out of Los Angeles by that city's slum housing task force. This Angelino advocacy group refers to Lance Robbins as, quote, the worst slumlord in LA's history, unquote. Whoa, no wiggle room there. Saunders, herself an attorney, backed up the West Coast claim by citing Robbins' 105 building and health code violations, which resulted in 32 convictions and more than $1 million in fines actually paid to the City of Angels. Writing in Go Local Prov, Kate Nagel explained that Mr. Robbins' modus operandi was to weave an ingenious and complex web of sham companies in order to buffer himself from direct legal liability for conditions in his properties. She reported that once fines from code violations and back water bills started getting too large, he would begin to foreclose on himself, putting the dummy corporations for the buildings into receivership to avoid personal accountability. Okay, it soon began to sound as if we just hired a shark as lifeguard down at the beach. Kate found all this out in a few minutes of checking online and one phone call to D.C. My question is, how did Governor Raimondo's people miss all this so completely? See, once again, we have a PR nightmare developing. Was the Commerce Corporation's due diligence really diligent? The scouting book on Lance Robbins seems to have been out there. If they checked at all, they found all this out. So assuming they knew about their guy's sordid past, what did they think would happen when we gave him a $3.6 million check? If the Commerce Corporation had reason to believe that this would all end well, then they should have started the public discourse on some of Mr. Robbins' past peccadillos in order to inoculate themselves from the fear, sarcasm, ridicule, and suspicion that is now growing around this decision. If this is a good deal despite the man's history, tell us how, Governor. If it's not a good deal, please don't open our collective wallet in the first place. Ruth?